Hey Legionnaires, and welcome back. We're here with another NTW3 historical battle for you today, and we have the glorious Grenadiers of the Line staring back at us. One of my favorite units, I think, for the French army. And yes, today, as you might be able to tell from the title of the video, we do have the Battle of Saltanovka, fought in 1812. It's part of the French offensive into Russia. So we're still sort of in that sort of stage of the 1812 campaign. France is on the advance. Marshal Davout is leading the way, and he is a bit under strength in this one, and his army, or his corps, is yeah, pretty battered from the campaigns and sort of like desertions and fatigue and disease and all that sort of stuff you have whilst on campaign. And his weakened corps is now going up against Bagration and his army. Both sides have around about sort of 20,000 troops. Davout may have had slightly more. And this was in history a French victory as Davout dug in around the town of Saltanovka and put up batteries and sort of entrenchments and used the geography to assist in like the trees and also various cliffs. We don't have any cliffs in this one, but we do have what I feel like is a fairly similar sort of setting to Saltanovka here. We are at the Malo Yaroslavets, which I'm definitely butchering the name. I always butcher the name without this town. This is a custom map. It's used for the actual battle, historical battle of Malo Yaroslavets. But yeah, we are using it here for Saltanovka, and it worked quite well because I doubt ever we will get a NTW3 Saltanovka map, but maybe we will. Maybe we will. And we do have other corps here in this one as well, not just Davout. So we could have had just Davout, I guess, and just had like combat gens as well. But he is like a 13 point. It is a really strong sort of like force for like for the French. We just had a lot of 1812 Davouts, which could have been fine, but we did not. So instead, we have also got Victor, so there's an 8 point. We've got Eugene, and we also have Ney, so we have some weakened ones. But obviously the main commander here is supposed to be Davout. Davout is sort of like primary sort of commander. These other ones you could just imagine are sort of like they're just like divisions of Davout's corps that are being used. I can't remember which Russian corps there are. It might be there'll be a Bagration, I'm sure. I think there's a Tichkov. And then maybe a couple more Bagrations, I think. I think it has been ever so slightly changed in the scenario I set up when people played it, but that should be the options. I think it was mainly just like a Bagration and Davout slap down, because even though we have a Bagration, a fairly strong core himself, has got to attack a very well defended position, and it kind of relies on melee. Which both France and Russia excel in. We do have a huge horse battery, like horse artillery battery set up here, 4 guns ready to go. And it looks like France is actually going to dash out some chasseurs cheval here. So they might be going to try for the guns, or they're just going to go for an all-out cav fight here. And there you go, Lance Chevaliers going in, getting rid of the Cossacks there. And this one doesn't look so great. It looks like, yeah, Chevaliers, well, they're going to try and take out the guns, and they might get them. They did redline. Russia tried to break out of his other combat with the chasseurs here to try and save his guns. He has not managed to do so. If anything, I think side charging his guns would have just helped break them anyway. And Russia is firing some infantry over there. Oh, right, they're just trying to, I guess, help the French cav up against the French cav. There you go, Russia sort of holds there. Maybe with the support of that infantry, who knows? But yeah, the Russian sort of looks like hussars. They managed to force back the French, but the French have done their job. They got rid of that huge gun emplacement that they really wanted to get rid of. Yeah, the Russian hussars do look glorious, that is for sure. And there you go, howitzers going off, hitting at those hussars. Getting the last laugh are the French in this one. Where are those? Oh, there they are, the Aubusiers, the howitzers, right at the back of the map, or right at the back of the settlement. Very much defended. So yeah, they're not going to be got by the Russians anytime soon. We've got more artillery, yeah, set up on sort of on a bit of a cliff, certainly on a ridge here. So yeah, I guess the players, you know, maybe read up on their history and realised that this was they were going to need some strong defences. Another cav fight taking place on this side this time. Eugene is person over here. So yeah, we have Eugene, Ney, and Victor, and yeah, it looks like Eugene's out on this left flank here helping, and he's managed to sort of win some of his fights, lost some as well. The Italian Dragoons doing a bit, but it looks like the Russian Dragoons won a fight as well. Looks like they scared off some of the sort of chasseurs cheval over here. Again, it looks like on this side here they were aiming to get the gun batteries, which they've got rid of the carriages, or the limbers I should say, but that's it. And now just like very much a foot artillery in place there, but it's a good position. I don't think the Russians will be moving from there anytime soon. Look at the mass of Russian infantry. Look at the columns that are ready to storm at Saltanovka here. They're going to try and do their best. And again, France now looks like we have Davout marching on out in force. We've got a whole host of troops here. We've got Vandenberg troops. We've got, yeah, plenty of Frenchies. All of Europe here has come to subjugate Russia in the name of Napoleon. It just seems like there's a lot of a militia spam though going on here from Russia, as you can see. Yeah, a lot of militia being brought. The serfs are being sent forward to serve their Tsar. Another cav fight going on right on the edge of the fight over here. We've got, looks like a little Lancer Berg, and it's managed to rout some hussars. Again, doing a very good job. Now they can get these guns. I think that might be the objective of these Lancers. They are winded. It's not too bad. I don't think there's another Russian cav here. I think this is the one hussar that's sort of covering them. France also does have a whole bunch of troops that it looks like he's sending in this direction. Victor here is going to be given the job, and he's going to swing around by the looks of it, and he's going to try and maybe hit this force in the flank. And yeah, in a moment, those Lancers of Berg should deal with the guns. But yeah, the line fight is getting underway ever so slightly. The militia here are pounding those Voltigeurs. Guns being set up by the Russians. It's not a fight that the French can take really without artillery of their own. Here to support. Davout is sitting a little bit further back. Whether they're going to go for a melee offensive, I don't know. That would be what I would aim for, but there you go. Guns taken out by the Lancers of Berg. Looks like cav being dashed over here now. But they are yeah, being held back for now. There's still, yeah, I mean, there's a whole load of troops. Like, Victor's got troops just sort of scattered everywhere in forest lines, just trying to, I guess, keep them hidden. Like, I don't really know what his plan is. But yeah, Russia might also might be preparing for a melee assault here. I mean, we've got the sort of screen of these militia here, and then we have a lot of infantry being set up behind these. Look like just line infantry, but they're still Russian line infantry. They're scary stuff. And they might be about to get sent in. It looks like they're going to try and hit the flank. I think France has anticipated it. He's turning his line. Not allowing the Russians to get close. But yes, if you're enjoying the NTW3 action and would like to see some more, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here, and a comment to show your support. It really does help out the channel. And if you ever want to get involved in any Napoleonic chaos yourself, feel free to join my Discord. The link is down below in the description. And it's also the place to send in your replays if you want to have them covered. Like this one was sent in by a member of my Discord. So yeah, if you ever want to get involved, or send in your own, you know where to go. And here we go. We now have Victor making himself available and showing that he is very much present on this battlefield. And now this corps here, I don't know if it's Bagration or Tichkov, but yeah, they are now being hit on by two sides. Victor's going to slam into the flank here. Doesn't really matter. The serfs are going in against these Voltigeurs. They're going to just get rid of them easily. All part of that devious plan, obviously, for Russia is to use these guys to sort of just be like the chaff before the mainline infantry goes in. But yeah, I mean, if Victor could maybe use his poles here and head into the flank, that could be a bit of a win here for the French, because the Poles are pretty good at melee, if I remember correctly. And yeah, the Russians have managed to catch the mainline French infantry here, and in they go. There's Serbs there. They've been fighting against the French for a little while. Whether the French could just blast these guys, oh, I don't know. Maybe the French are going to lose this. They're winning slightly, apparently. Morale would say otherwise. French could definitely do with getting a charge in here. I was going to say, get the Poles. Get the Poles to get across, but there you go. Line infantry breaking. The next one's going to have to go in. Whether the Poles can storm, now is the time. Victor's got to go if he's going to go. And yeah, Russians going along the line here. I don't know why we're getting silent melee, but we are getting silent melee. But there you go. And they go, the line infantry battling against the serfs. There you go, in come the sounds. The sound and chaos of battle. And there you go, more French being broken. Victor's got to get a move on. Serfs definitely breakable. If you just side charge them, I would have thought. Definitely breakable. Good volleys from the French, blasting these Russians last minute. The Russians, can they get a good charge up here? I don't know, we'll see. Melee is supposedly been nerfed in NTW 3, but I feel like the Russians are doing just fine right now. More Davout infantry coming forward, they're going to need it. They're going to need those reserves. Over on this side here, just a line fight going on. Russia is, he's attempted an assault, it looks like, and has been pushed back. We'll just keep an eye on that, but yeah, not so much action going on that side as it is on this side here. Victor coming forward, the Lancers of Berg here as well. They can get a good charge here, the Lancers, into that the cab. They can probably rout it. Really cause a bit of an upset there for the Russians. France sort of pushing back the Russians now. They're redlining them in a lot of spots here. And that's just going to affect the other ones. And yet, 1, 2, the third will go now. Reserves arriving though for Davout. Victor and Davout need to start like pushing hard onto the Russians. Don't let them just back off like this, because the Russians have done a really good sort of move here on the French. Got rid of a lot of French infantry and really haven't taken many losses of their own. I don't think they've even lost an infantry regiment. The Russian general here will be very pleased with the results that the troops have provided. Weakening that Davout corps quite nicely. Looks like Eugene and, well, it's actually old Eugene, and Davout's here as well. So yeah, Davout's a bit everywhere, to be honest. He probably could do with, like, phasing out some of his troops from here. I mean, yeah, look, he's got so many troops. I don't know if Davout's even bothered to bring cabs, to be honest. But, yeah. They've got Davout's like everywhere. He's just got a lot of infantry, I think. Whether he wants to send over more troops, Ney also looks like he's sending troops over to this open ground combat, which he probably wants to do. It's a 10 point. A lot of sort of German troops in his corps, Württemberg troops. Davout is not continuing the chase. Yeah, there's Portuguese line infantry here of Ney's taking an absolute battering and breaking. The Russians still have plenty of columns in reserve, and they look like, looking the way they're facing, they're thinking of going over here as well. I think they plan to try and smash through this French force here, the Russians, and then maybe try and get across the river and then in behind so they can hit Saltanovka from 2 directions here. See whether they try that. Serfs retreat, done their Tsar proud. And this is a problem as well for the French. They haven't got any artillery to duel with the Russian one. The Russian artillery right now is just putting holes into these poles. Holes in those poles. Victor now shifting the majority of his corps now seems, including himself, to this flank here. It looks like France is wheeling up some horse artillery as well from Baden. That's a Victor horse artillery. Eugene also sending Italian dragoons. So it looks like France is now shifting assets to that right flank. They're leaving some of Victor's force here, like Saxon infantry. Lots of allied troops here in that forest line. They're being shifted over to this side here to try and maybe turn that one around. Here we go. Victors are now going to go in. He's got his demi brigades here. I don't think that well trained, like with great morale. I think it's wrong. They're big units though, 174-man units. The Russians in a line fight. That's definitely not for them. I feel the French would prefer a line fight. They probably got the sort of units for it. The Poles, I don't know if they're really line fight units material, but there's Laguerre and also like some more of the Allied infantry. All the French can usually line fight pretty well. Nathaning out a little Chevalier here, and it looks like he's going to be going. We have some more guns. Yeah, he sees a huge gun battery here. This is it's a do or die for France. They're going to try and get this. You see Russia's dashing across its own cav here. If he even just touches them, they start to die, and there you go. The Chevaliers get in. How Russia didn't see that? It's such a long way they came from those that French cav there, and they've got rid of the guns. I think they've destroyed most of them. The rest are going to rout. And that's a huge gun battery there gone for the Russians that otherwise was probably cost a lot of money and was going to be set up on that left flank there to try and wipe out that French line infantry. And there you go. Russia gets rid of the cav, but really that's a mission success there for the French Chevalier. And now the offensive is coming on this flank here as we have, it looks like Russian guards coming in here. We have, we have Constantine here, I think, actually. His corps. Kind of like the yellow and the white going on. Those are very, very cool. Yeah, we do have Russian guards here. They will be pretty good for a melee fight, that's for sure. They will be absolutely fine. And they're actually going in now already. I don't know if it's the guards. I don't think it is. I think this is regular infantry. They're fighting down there. And there you go. French cav going in, or Italian dragoons to be precise. And they're stopping a big blob of Russians there. Huge blob that just got stopped. And then in come. They're not the guards either. They're still more just general regular infantry. Yeah, it seems like the guards have been kept in a line fight, and they're pushing back Eugene and Davout in quite a few places here. Is that an artillery piece that broke? Yeah, artillery, Bavarian artillery broke as well. The Russians have taken these early sort of outposts of the French. France is going to push back Russia there. They're going to hold them back. Eugene's in a bit of danger here. He needs to get back. We have now got Grenadiers of Davout going in. In go those boys. Twirling their muskets. French cav shifting wide is that Italian dragoon again. It's a big dragoon unit started out. That's looking to flank around. Russia doesn't seem like he has much. The cav here, if any, it looks like they're going to go hunting for guns. Are the Italians. France has been pushed back from his initial sort of start point. The outskirts of Saltanovka have been lost on that flank there. And there's still a long line fight going on here, it looks like. What is broken there? Another artillery, the Baden artillery is broken. It did look like it's got routed by a hussar there of the Russians. The melee fight continues. Oh, and here you go. Italian dragoons got forced back. I think that's by the squares, I think, more than anything. And now, yeah, Russia reveals its cavalry. Yeah, it looks like maybe squares, I think, force these dragoons back. As you get, you usually can form square. Russian guards now fighting French grenadiers. And the French are going to get forced back here. Again, it looks like more French line infantry coming forward. We've got Venetes of the Royal Guard of Italy. Tiny little unit that's re-rallied. Smashing into the Russian guards. The volleys are certainly going to help the Italians in that scenario. Here you go, more grenadiers. 144 of them going in. And another unit, which is 135. So yeah, Eugene rowing in them. And these are some of the grenadiers, the guard, along with just generic French grenadiers. Yeah, pull back the Italians. They're stacking up. There's no need. And this is an absolute battle in these streets here. Yeah, lots of grenadiers, lots of guardsmen. The Russians are really blobbing up here. They're a bit, I don't know if pathfinding is an issue or what, but yeah, they need to stop stacking up in this tiny little area because the French will catch them. They win all these lines, all these melee fights. They'll come in and try and get some more. Yeah, Russia is starting to break, I think. Massive generic line infantry. The guard holds strong for now. Whether that will continue.
A unit has grown weary, sir.
On this side here, Davout and Victor sort of just plugging away in a line fight right now. It looks like Ney is shifting troops back towards Saltanovka as he's sending his forces there. It looks like you can see Russia is preparing another assault here, and this is certainly a weakened sector for the French. We've got one measly horse artillery here from Davout. It looks like that's going to try and hold back stuff along with some trilliers. And yeah, the Ney's got a few sort of outskirt units as well, some more trilliers here. They need to think about falling back. Instead they're going to get meleeed. And yep, they're not going to last long, that's for sure. But yeah, Russia and France are still fighting strong in these towns here. And the Italian guards have defeated the Russian guards. The more Russians look like they're on their way. They're trying to battle through their own routing troops, which is certainly breaking up their charge. Good volley there from the Leger of Davout, smashing into the side of that Russian guardsman. That is going to do a lot of good damage there. Looks like we've still got plenty of guardsmen to go in for Russia. But they're not done yet. Plenty of dragoons as well here. They might want to shift them to the other side where the open field battle's happening. House has been captured by the French, so they're occupying. Ney's actually now occupying the building near him. They forced back some streltsy here, some serfs. I think that's what they are called, the streltsy. And these Illyrians, they've won one fight. They're not going to win a second, that's for sure. They're a Leger unit at best. And there you go. Looks like the gun crew. Looks like they're going to get wiped out here. It is all action on every front right now for the French. And the Russians again going in. I don't know why they just let these trilliers die. Send them elsewhere. Whether it's all part of a bait, whether it's all part of a larger plan, just blast your own trilliers and then just blast the Russians with infantry. More Illyrians here. They're not gonna hold in a melee fight. There you go. Trilliers breaking. That's gonna sort of demorale the other units around them. They're not gonna be happy. But a good volley there by the French. That should break that Russian unit, I'd imagine. This one's also redlining now as well. This assault here is not really. It's gathering some steam. Actually, the Russians are re-rallied. I don't know. Russia's kind of getting side-charged. They might be okay here. Oh, I don't know. Charles Massey is arriving. And he is going to come in with his grenadiers. Oh, he gets stuck in a tree. Charles is helping us hold the line, and the French have broken the Russians there. And that is very, very good. And it looks like we've got guardsmen moving down here. I thought they were. Yeah, guardsmen moving down to actually now come and assault this side as well. So, yeah, looks like they're going to come in from all directions out of the guards. This is the greatest, I'd say the greatest swordsman, but not swordsman, the greatest infantry they have, and also the worst infantry they have, but working together to try and assault on that front. Cav now arriving as well. Looks like some hussars. Looks like also maybe the dragoons went for it with the Russians. I don't think they got actually to the front line, so they looked like they were going to go, but they didn't in the end. And yeah, Russia has given up on this front here. He's given up assaulting against Davout and his long line of infantry, and he is shifting back in. France needs to do some scouting with some cav, maybe the Lancers of Berg, and just have a look and see what is left here. Because if they are going to get held up by some skirmishes, some strelky here, that's not good. Looks like they finally did get that artillery as well. Some way or another. Looks like maybe you shot it with artillery themselves, like counter battery. Russia is still fighting in these small streets. Still, Charles Massey holds on. A true warrior, loyalist to his emperor. There you go, they routed another Russian infantry. They've done a very good job as that grenadier unit. It is part of Davout's course, so I think we're looking from Davout's perspective, so we should be able to see the kills that grenadier unit gets. There you go, the flanks coming in from the Russians here, causing some of these 46 of the line to break. do have, I think it's it's Italian Carabiniers in this building here. That is going to be one tough nut to crack.
He's growing weary, sir.
And yeah, I mean, line infantry supporting as well, forcing back guardsmen for the Russians. You can usually tell when there's guardsmen. They've got big old gold eagles on their hats, and they've got very excessive plumes, which sometimes can be a grenadier. We have guardsmen in here in this fight, fighting grenadiers, but not Charles Massey. Brutal fight it's turned into here for this just random little Russian village of Saltanovka. Not really of much significance in history. It just basically was a very key sort of village over the Dnieper River. That basically, if they could hold it, the Russians, then they could then make an offensive across the Dnieper. If not, then they were going to have to pull back. Basically, I think that was kind of like the situation. Lots more Russians now shifting in. Looks like, yeah, maybe a lot of re-rallied guardsmen or just smaller units. I don't know. They might just be small guard units. But I think they might be more likely re-rallied. But look at this. Yeah, I mean, Davout is now being aggressive on this flank here, as he should. This is a tiny force that he's facing. He needs to push this aside and then maybe think about encircling the troops that are already now entering the town. If Ney can hold on, Ney and Eugene and Victor's gone back into the town, which is good to see. But a charge here from SARS. I don't know what they were aiming to do, just charging head on at line infantry. It doesn't look like the line infantry did fire though, so maybe they'll have success. Not very far though, because there's a whole bunch of line infantry waiting for Ney. And yeah, Ney's got Wettenberg chasseurs here trying to hold on against more Russian infantry. Looks like these might be grenadiers. They've got the plume on the hat. They haven't got the gold eagle. And in come more grenadiers. And yeah, again, the French are going to be all action stations. Yeah, the Wettenberg troops falling back. Still those serfs are in play. We've got a general re-rallying his troops. France has been pushed back in. Ney is getting forced back. God, looks like Charles Massey's going back in. Send that man back into combat. He's got 99 men left. 99 men in the dream. Charles Massey leading the way. Support him, lads. Support him with your other grenadiers here. Get them in. Charles Massey can't do it all on his own, but he'll damn well try. The Russians are certainly making an assault now onto the Carabiniers building. Eugene is really struggling to hold on. He might need support, and it looks like Victor might be going over to support him. But, I mean, looking bad as well. Alarm bells are going for Ney as well. If Charles Massey breaks, all is lost, in my opinion, and he has broken. He's gone. Line infantry going for the French, but they have just charged this Davout line infantry just charged into a mass of Russians down here. They could do with setting up some lines and just trying to blast the Russians. There's just huge blobs here. Huge blobs, very disorganized Russian assault, that's for sure. Yeah, the Illyrians here aren't going to hold against the Russians, I imagine. I think the Russians smell blood. And yeah, we've got more of Ney's troops now shifting back in. A very good sign to see. I mean, I would be possibly shifting across more Victor's forces as well, because I think there's like Davout's got more than enough here. He might need to cav like this Lancer Berg, but I'd shift more of the infantry, tuck it in, get the Poles back into the buildings. I would, because I think they're going to be pretty decent in melee if I remember the Poles. More grenadiers here, winning their fights for the Russians. Now they're into tirailleurs. It just seems like there's a lot of skirmishes being brought by the French. I don't know why these tirailleurs went outside the town.
This building has
been lost. The Carabiniers have been ousted. That is not a good sign. Eugene is starting to crumble. Building is lost. And yeah, the Russian Guard leading the way. His tiny little Russian Guardsman unit falling back now. It was leading the way. Russia is starting to crumple this force of French. And you can see Victor and Eugene falling back quite quickly on the side here, giving up their ground. Davout is going to have to start to send forces back. It looks like he is now. It looks like actually maybe the French are going to give up on this line battle and they're just going to get into the town, which is probably a good idea. I'd turn this gun around if I was the French as well. Get this artillery of nades, turn around and start blasting any Russians that start to appear in this sort of square. Not really a square, but this area. The Portuguese are now in a fight. These guys have been liberated by the French by this point. They've been liberated by the British by this point. Yet they're still fighting for the French. And Ney's actually pretty close to the front line, as is Davout. You can see the stream of French are running. The Russians have got the French on the run here.
Your men have been routed, sir.
Right now, history looks like it's going to be changed. Russia looks like it's in the ascendancy. France is going to need to try and re-rally some of these troops if he's going to have any chance of sort of saving itself. The Aubusier is very much danger close now. There's only a thin line of French infantry holding back the Russians. The Guard have done their bit, and the Aubusier is dropping shells into this area. Trying to hit generals, maybe. If they get a general, that'll be huge. And here you go, Russia has gone in. Davout being caught on the march, trying to get into the city. He's got caught. It's been a very messy fight here for the French. Cav as well, trying to support. I mean, they can get the Cav, they could swing that around maybe. Try and hit get some side charge. Right now they're just entangled in their own infantry. Russia looks like he has been defeated though. Davout, though he's caught on the march, seems like he's got the numbers here to try and win this one. We get a good volley here with the line infantry into the Russian pool and to blast some of their own troops, but also the Russians. There you go, fire now. Good volley into the Russians there. Should break them. Might get the French too. There you go. They got rid of them. And Le Cav is going into the town. And Davout survives that assault. There you go. Russia being thrown back there. So that's a small victory for the Russians. This is like do or die for the French now. Like you can already see it's not looking good. But this is a do or die because like most of the sort of central forces here are being concentrated in this one force. We've got some troops here for Victor out on the flanks. They're not going to do much. Russia's actually in behind now as well with their Cavs and Cossacks running down any sort of units that return. Looks like some line infantry for Ney we're going to return, and also I think there's another Cav unit here. France, yeah, is not going to get any sort of reinforcements from those returning troops, and Russia is starting to slam into those final few units that are returning. Charles Massey's here. He's exhausted though. I don't know if he can win this one. We'll see. And he has, he's won his first fight. What a legend. He's getting rallied by Eugene as well. Charles Massey cannot hold on. Oh, actually, we won't see him, he's Ney. Oh, no, it's Ney's the core. I don't think we'll see him. That's a shame. Unless there's a second Charles Massey, maybe there is.
Your men have been routed, sir.
But just Strelke here, just being a pain. The general has died. I think that's going to be over here. I imagine that's probably that might be Victor. I think, yeah, breaking. Victor now without a general, and his corps disintegrates. His forces that were on this left flank here are breaking. Cossacks running down some Voltigeurs, and Russia looks like they're going to win this one here today. I mean, it's still not over quite yet, but it does. The writing is on the wall. Russia has routed the forces in the town. And now France is just kind of left with these forces here, Davout, and also a little bit of Victor over on this side here, but those forces will probably break pretty quickly. Victor still has, yeah, a good substantial amount of his force here. He has a good, like, 8 units of infantry. The Poles here as well. I mean, I thought the Poles were decent in melee, but he didn't send them into the town, that's for sure. We've got the Lancers of Berg here as well still alive. They could get this huge gun emplacement that's still not being got. There's another one. This is all howitzers here. This is another one I'd probably be thinking about getting. I mean, the Lancers could. They could just probably run into these Strelki here, get rid of them. And then after them, it's the guns. So Russia looks like he's dashing cav over here now. The Hussars. I mean, the French might be able to get the guns, to be honest. They're pushing forward these Poles. I think that is their objective here. They're like, this artillery is not going to survive. You got the Lancers of Berg survived. Can they go for the last push? They're tired, concerned by casualties. They might as well go now. It's do or die. I don't think they're going to get them. I think the Hussars will get across them just in time. Or maybe not. They're going to at least get the gun carriages off. And there you go. Now they can push forward. That cav nearly broke, to be fair, as well. Well, they're still holding on in this building, I guess. Saltanovka is not quite fallen. Another general dead. I think I was just farming generals at this point. I don't know which general that will have been. Eugene, maybe? More than likely, I think Eugene. I mean, Ney's still... I think Ney's still kicking in. I think his general's still alive. Davout certainly is. But yeah, I don't see Ney holding on to this building with these just Illyrian infantry in here. Unless he's sending in more troops, I don't know. The guns haven't quite been lost either. And the Russians are back to a line fight with the French. And that was certainly, I think, a good decision by the Russians. I think giving up on this fight over here, I think that could have been catastrophic in the end for them. Being aggressive here against Davout. They had their chance and they didn't quite take it when the serfs were all being aggressive and sort of and that had broken through a couple of the line infantry. They had their chance there. Victor kind of helped save the day for Davout there. Building has been lost. That'll be Ney losing the building there. So yeah, now Saltanovka is officially in Russian hands. All of the LOCs are in their control. But yeah, I think the Russians just disengaging from that open ground fight and going into the town has certainly made the difference. You can see the risk that you run to charging. I mean, the Russians tried it there. They just got blasted by Poles. I mean, the Russians, yeah, being a bit throwing troops away here. I mean, they haven't broken their own troops that have the Poles. They've broken some French comrades of theirs. But yeah, the Russians are throwing away a lot of infantry here in a bit of a futile charge. Are we going to? I don't think these demi brigade can form square, but I think the Russians are going to go in with the Hussars. I mean, they're getting a good volley. I think, yeah, the Russians were going for the outside one, and the inside demi brigade there getting good volleys. They just need a. There you go, another demi brigade breaking. I was hoping that they were going to be able to rush the guns, but the Russians have just about held on to the guns so far. And they're desperately trying to hold them, I guess. Here we go, another charge into Poles. We'll see how good their melee credentials are. And that's a good volley before. That's going to probably help win that fight for the Poles. Maybe fibbed a little at the end there. There you go, the Russians both break the French and break themselves. And the Poles, you can see, are going to get side shots. Probably should have just held their ground as the Poles and looked the other way, because the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. A last stand here. I imagine, yeah, the Poles are going to get swarmed there. And the guns are going to survive. I really thought they were going to get those guns. One of the demi brigades has returned, but they can't form square, and there's Russian cav sniffing about. And Davout is slowly getting ousted from the outskirts of Saltanovka now. The guard is still, you know, not healthy, but they still have reasonable units here alive after all their charging. In they go one more time. Go, light infantry breaking for Davout, and yeah, Davout is praying that Napoleon's going to come and save him. This would have been a big difference, I guess. If, like, Davout's, like, mangled, I think it's the first corps. Yeah, if his mangled first corps had been defeated at Saltanovka, he could have, that could have been pretty disastrous for the French, I'd imagine. Oh, they're going to run into stakes, aren't they? They're going to run into stakes and get himself killed here. Yeah, there you go. Oh dear, what a way to go for Davout. What a way to go. I don't know what's re-rallied. Just some French units over here. It looks like it's Victor's stuff. I think Victor might be the only general that... No, Victor did definitely die. I think Nave's the only general that didn't die. But yeah, maybe the Russians could have then made an offensive across the Dnieper River had they won this battle here. Might have been able to make, yeah, a counter-offensive, who knows. With the whole corps gone. And it was the first corps as well. I think that was the largest, I think, for the French. I mean, it certainly is by going off points. It's a 13 point, and they have, like, a huge amount of options. Shows the scale of the size of the corps. So, yeah, the 13 corps had been... sorry, the first corps had been certainly damaged, and if not destroyed. Could have been a costly defeat that they couldn't afford, and maybe France would have been pushed back earlier. And they wouldn't have got all the way to Moscow, who knows. But yeah, we just need to see these final units just mopped up. And yeah, there you go. I think that's finally routed. What is returned now? What has returned? Oh, looks like, what is that? A line infantry all the way over there. Okay, I'm just going to make a quick cut, guys, for your benefit. And I'll leave it fast forwarded while the Russians run down French units. But I'll see you guys in a moment with the end results. Okay, so we are back with the end results. Yeah, it only took a little bit of time for the final few units of French to rout. And yeah, we now have a end screen hopefully appearing there for you to have a look at all those results. And yeah, this was sent in by Johnny the Buffoon, who's, I think, playing as Davout. So yeah, it was from his perspective. And yeah, it was a brave stand by the French at Saltanovka, but they could not quite hold in the end. The Russians, with their melee prowess, pushing the French out. Certainly, the Guard played a large like sort of portion of the offensive and did a lot of that heavy lifting. I feel like in some areas, but I mean also those serfs. You know, the worst and the best infantry that Russia could provide did their heavy lifting. We'll have a quick look at the end results. So yeah, we have the Auberciers getting 131 kills here for Davout. Light infantry getting 93 kills, Grenadiers 87. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see Charles Massey with his kills, but I'm going to presume he's at least got, you know, north of 1,000 kills because he did insane stuff. And then, yeah, you can see the rest of the kills here if you want to have a look at those as well. I think, yeah, Davout just spammed out the infantry. Not a single unit of cav available. Well, not brought, I should say, not available. I think they only really have, like, Chasseur Cheval anyway, like offered to them, and yeah, you can see all the kills there. But there you go, guys. That is the Battle of Saltanovka today. Another historical battle ticked off the list, and a pretty bloody one at that. I hope you did enjoy the battle. If you did, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here, and do check out some of these historical battles appearing on your screen. There's some epic ones there. But until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.